This week's blog post is the second and final in my posts on the breakers in Newport, Rhode Island. On the breakers and other Gilded Age mansions, see last week's post. This is Alice Vanderbilt's bedroom. Even though it's decorated in the Louis XVI style, it's much more restful on the eye than many of the downstairs rooms. Incidentally, I'm always surprised by the size of the beds in Gilded Age mansions. They seem so small. Alice and Cornelius Vanderbilt had 7 children. After Cornelius died in 1899, Alice lived in the breakers until her death in 1934. The house passed to her youngest and only surviving child, Gladys Vanderbilt, who had married Count Laszlo Széchenyi. This is hands down my favorite room in the house. It's the second floor loggia looking out over the Atlantic. The ceiling, you can just see up here, is painted to mimic a fabric canopy. And in the corners of the room, we're looking over here, in the corners of the room there are 4 cherubs who are among the most charming reliefs in the mansion. If it becomes chilly in this semi-outdoor space, you can curl up in one of the wicker chairs that has a canopy and portholes. From the loggia you can see the Great Hall, which is 50 feet tall. On the right is the handle of one of the glass doors that close off the loggia from the Great Hall. I love the attention to detail at the breakers. This is the gallery. The stained glass ceiling panel is by John Lafarge. Next to Louis Comfort Tiffany, Lafarge was America's most famous maker of stained glass. This panel is above the main staircase, which leads down into the Great Hall. The tapestry above the stairs, which is at the far right in that picture, is 17th century Dutch. The sculptures in the corners seem to be copies of rather uninspiring Roman works. I really admire the workmanship of all the decorative arts at the breakers, but few of the sculptures are inspiring. And over here toward the left is a portrait of the original Cornelius Vanderbilt, Commodore Vanderbilt. Huge house, huge parties, huge kitchen. Very well designed for traffic flow, though. A friend who took the tour of the breakers with me pointed out that most elements of this sort of mansion are quite predictable. They are, after all, copied from architecture that is centuries old. The only unexpected feature at the breakers is this semicircular concrete enclosure here, just outside the kitchen. What was it for? I have no idea. This is the facade of the breakers facing the Atlantic. In this picture you can see the painted canopy and the second floor loggia. Here's some very nice sculpture. This is the Children's Playhouse Cottage, which was built in 1886 to match the house that occupied this site at that time. The breakers is a later construction. This building was used as a play area for Gladys, the youngest of the Vanderbilt children. Caryatids in the shape of kids are strange but charming. Here you can see them. And that's it for our look at the breakers. DianeDuranteWriter.com has hundreds of posts on sculpture, painting, architecture, and my other obsessions. To join the free Sunday Recommendations email list, visit the URL that's on the screen or email me. And you can say, "Well done, Diane," or support my work and receive rewards by means of the tip jar on DianeDuranteWriter.com. As always, thank you for listening.